Hello people, this is Power here with the DX Majin Gates mode and DiEnd Ridewatch. Yep. So this is the second release of the Majin that originally released in November. Obviously the Majin was Geo's, and obviously the only reason why you got it was for this campaign. But as that item is really expensive, in March they re-released it as Gates and released the DiEnd Ridewatch because he still had to get released. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Um, but yeah, it's essentially a repaint and a slight remode. But yeah, I was actually able to get this because I got it on sale because no one wanted it. So as you can see on the left side, you got the DN mode for Gates' Majin. We got the transformations of each respective mode. We got the top, the bottom. This is a really large box, and then we got all of the mode swapping you can do, and this is really inaccurate. So dumb. So let's just get this over with. Okay, so here we have Gates' Majin, as I'm calling it, because it's I don't know, it's still a Majin. Obviously this is the first time I'm covering this, so I can't really go over the differences, but let's just look at it overall. So the Majin is literally just a time machine, but it's also a robot, so I don't know why I'm doing that. Yeah, I don't know how to describe this thing at all because I don't understand why they needed this as a time machine, but you know, they have a mech time machine. I don't have any Sentai mechs on me because those are on top of my computer desk, so can't do proper size comparisons, but these are a bit taller than average Sentai mechs because I think Kishiro is like up here and such, but yeah. So as you can see up here is the the pseudo or the placeholder Gates Ridewatch that includes, and I honestly really like it. It's not the same shade of red as the original, but I like this one sheet sticker because it's essentially like the Gashua and Candy Toy ones. I don't know about the size though, and obviously it's just half of the Ridewatch. Because if I take out the original one, it's obviously very different. But obviously, this is where you're going to slot the Ridewatches. So we'll click something like so. And just to get this over with, so here's Gates. I apologize with the angling. So there's the DX watch on Gates. There's that. Obviously, just to get this over with too, these are the in-show combinations of Gates' Majin. So here's Cross. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Here's Gem. And then, this wasn't in show, but here's Build. This was featured in Heisei Generations Forever, as Sento piloted this, so, you know, that's really cool. And then obviously, we got our included DN Ridewatch. So, yeah, just to get that over with, that's the Ridewatch compatibility as a whole. The design, again, it's just a repaint of Geo's, just a lot of color swapping. But they actually, I think, compared to Geo's, they actually did add more paint to it in some areas that weren't originally painted on his. And obviously, this is in hiragana. I think this is supposed to be like robot or something, or robo. And also, just to get this over with, too, you can open this canopy and insert your stolen RKF Gates figure, because this is not mine. So yes, I'm aware that like I don't have the Ridewatch holders, and Zarkin had it as the ghost armor, so you can put him in there too, but then his legs will stick out. So going over articulation, he actually has a pretty decent amount. So he can rotate his arms all the way. He can. He has a nice like ratchet click and such. He can rotate his arms. He can rotate his hands all the way through. This is the thing, if you have the RKF figure, you can't actually like afford it. So I'm gonna get rid of Gates here because I don't need you anymore. But typically this is how far you can actually kick, and you can rotate this all around. It's just because of how this works. You slide the figure through. They get slotted in this space. In that space. Thus, gets rid of mobility. I don't even know what I'm doing. And then, as you already saw or seen a lot of, he can do like neck turns or face turning. So that's interesting. But yeah, that's basically it for this main mode of Time Machine. Gates' Time Machine. So to change it into its technically like aircraft mode or something, I don't know. I don't remember the specific names. You remove the Ridewatch and you turn these over from here, but then obviously you got to do some maneuvering. So okay, you flip these sections, like these things, over. Then you're supposed to flip these like so. So then when you turn it over like so, you just click everything in place. You turn the hands like that, and then using that arm articulation, you click it up till it reaches here. There's like no like, it just kind of like sits there. It doesn't actually like click anywhere. And then I assume this is supposed to just stay like that. I don't know. That looks really odd in my opinion. And then you just simply slightly lower the legs. Do I still have Gates in here? Oh, I do. You can't have him in here. So, because of how the legs work. So, you just slightly bend them like so. And that, there, you got your Time Machine in space mode, and it's alright. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be lower. Yeah, I think that looks a bit more accurate. But I don't know, it's just really weird in my opinion. There's not really a lot of color towards it, but like it is, like the length of it is pretty big. I can, if I would have grabbed Tridron, but I'm too lazy. So, like, I will say it's about that length. And this is not accurate, but you can like, because of how this is seated, you can like technically have Gates right on it, like so. But yeah, this mode just looks weird in my opinion. I don't know. It's just not really appealing. Like, yeah, you get to do like Time Machine stuff, like, whoa, I'm traveling through whatever eras. But obviously, to just transform it back, you just straighten out the legs, like so. Then you see the lamp. So then you bend that down, split these, and then you do all that stuff. And one thing I actually do want to note before we get to the DiEnd Ridewatch is that these sections here specifically are for the armor, the Rider Armor series accessories. So like as the back showed, you can put the Gashcon breakers on here, and then you can put the Drill Crusher, and then I don't remember what the rocket modules from Force Armor are called, but you can put those on. I think you can actually put the claw from the O's armor on here too, but obviously because the only armors I can got with this one was the Ghost armor, which doesn't have anything, so I can't really show this functionality, but I don't really think it does a lot, especially because of the fact they didn't really do a lot with the Rider Armor series. So yeah, that's basically it. So let's get with the DiEnd Ridewatch. So here we have the DiEnd Ridewatch, which is exclusive to this set, obviously, which is why they want you to buy it. But as you can see, unlike Decade, this is just a normal Ridewatch, which is kind of disappointing if I have to be honest, but oh well. So as you can see here, his base color is this. This is portrayed as light cyan, but I just want to say it's like cyan as a whole, and then the secondary color is just like jet black, which is really neat to see from a Ridewatch. QR code from Butba Gamba 099. So there's DiEnd's Rider symbol 2009. His face. And the battery cover. And just because here's a comparison with Decade Complete, because this is technically the only other DX Decade Ridewatch that's in this format. So, and obviously they actually do have different tracks. There's no point in showing this, but what am I doing? So I do like how DiEnd's like his description is essentially like Decades and like Kikes' combined, so that's really neat. Because the box was too dumb to do so. I don't know why I'm waiting for it to focus. As you can see, it's actually in cyan sky blue. So yeah, DiEnd actually has his own screen, which is really neat. Like, that's actually really cool of them to do that. So that technically means out of the 19 secondary riders, DiEnd, Brave, Cross, and Gates are the only ones that actually have their own screens. So we get the attack time burst, attack coming from Final Attack Ride. I find it funny too that all like the riders that aren't gates, the ones that act, the secondary riders that actually do have their own screens are all blue. Oh well. Remember his super speed? Yeah, I didn't actually take in consideration when I changed how I was gonna frame the Giga Driver that it was gonna affect the weapons heavily. So I apologize for that. The demo was pretty horrible with it. Obviously, as expected. So, let's get into my final thoughts overall with the set, in which, without the fact that I did get this on sale for half of its price, I think because of this being my first experience with this toy specifically, I do think it's pretty fun because I think, while I don't really like them trying to like shove in a big toy in the first quarter, just because then they typically try to put things that are typically exclusive in there, which is why I'm not really fond of Zero One's Breaking Mammoth, because that I can care less about that, honestly. But obviously because of jail, they put O's in, and it's like, well, shoot, I can never get him. And then with this one, they have DiEnd, and I'm like, well, great, that's gonna be difficult. But then because again, got it on sale, so it's kind of worth it. But I do, again, as I said before, I do like, this version of Timajin more than Geo's, because I think the red really works. But I don't know. I really don't have much thoughts on this toy, if I had to be honest. It's not that I don't, well, okay, like, it's not that I don't really care for it, it's just that it's honestly a toy I didn't really want to pick up. But honestly, I think having it in hand, it's more fun because obviously the selling point of this is the articulation, and that's really neat. Yes, obviously you can do the Ridewatch head swapping, but they didn't really do that in the show. Like, I think in the show, they didn't really do a good job advertising this toy. It was done really poorly, if I had to be honest. But, I guess the way I'll say how you should get this is that get it on a sale, or try to get this Ride Watch by itself if you're DXiness. Cause then like if you buy this, cause like on Amazon Japan, this is for like 2,600. You're essentially buying this whole set. Just honestly, for a better value, get this set on sale. Cause the set was originally 50, but then when I got it, HLJ cut it down to like 32, which essentially means I got both of these for 15.15, which isn't bad. But I don't know. Like, I think honestly it's just because I'm not as big on mechs anymore, if I have to be honest. But yeah, I really don't have a lot of thoughts on this, if I had to be honest. I really only got this for the Ride Watch, if I had to be honest. It's not a bad toy. It's just, oh my gosh.